You're listening to the Meaningful Minutes with Nikki Olson podcast. This is a show for busy Latter-day Saint women who want to learn simple tools to feel confident and inspired in 10 minutes or less. Welcome. On this episode, we will discuss Heavenly Mother and answer the question, can we talk about her? Now, I have to admit that I have only come to know and build a relationship with our Mother in Heaven in the past couple years. Prior to that, I had no idea how valuable it would be for me to learn of her and find my divine nature and potential in her. I hope you find that same value as you listen to today's podcast. I will also dive into resources that help us understand why it is okay to talk about her and where we can learn more. I have created a worksheet with all these quotes and references so that you too can learn more of our Mother in Heaven and you don't have to be feverishly taking notes as you listen. So click the link in my show notes and instantly get that download. And as always, my handouts are also great to share with your ministering sisters or to help you with a lesson. Now, you might be thinking, now I have heard that she was too sacred to talk about. And that's why we don't talk about her much. But I'm here to tell you today that there has been no documented prophet or apostle that has said that. So if that isn't true, then why is it that we don't hear more about our Mother in Heaven? And hopefully by the end of this episode, you will see that Heavenly Mother has always been there and in the doctrine. So let me start with an article put out by BYU Studies called A Mother There, a survey of historical teachings about Mother in Heaven. The article compiled over 600 sources of all types referencing a Heavenly Mother in their article. I've linked this article in my show notes and on the handout for you to look at and dive into further. One of the first quotes that really stood out to me was by President Rutger Clawson, and that was given in 1910. Now, before I read this quote, you might be thinking, well, who is that? Well, I had to look it up too. Rutger Clawson was a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles from 1898 until his death in 1943. That's a long time. He also served as president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles from 1921 until his death. So it's important to know that when we're getting this quote. But he said, it doesn't take from the worship of our eternal Father to adore our eternal Mother any more than it diminishes the love we have for our earthly Father to include our earthly mother in our affection. Rather, we honor women when we acknowledge Godhood in her eternal prototype. I love that he acknowledges we all have Godhood in our eternal prototype, and that when we honor our Mother in Heaven, we can feel a greater connection to the Godhood inside of us. Then there's this one from John A. Whitsoe that goes perfectly with it. He said, the glorious vision of life hereafter is given radiant warmth by the thought that we have a mother who possesses the attributes of Godhood. It's true. When we think of our Mother in Heaven, we can be comforted. Then Gordon B. Hinckley brings up a good point as well. He said, logic and reason would certainly suggest that if we have a Father in heaven, we have a Mother in Heaven. That doctrine sits well with me. The fact that we do not pray to our Mother in Heaven in no way belittles or denigrates her. None of us can add or diminish the glory of her of whom we have no revealed knowledge. I think we often try to assign meaning to things that don't really need a meaning assigned. Like prayer, for example. Since we don't pray to Heavenly Mother, that must mean something. Assigning meaning to something that hasn't been revealed can keep you from having a relationship with our Mother in Heaven. All right, I'm going to interrupt this episode for just a moment because the holidays are fast approaching. Yes, I said it. You heard me right. The holidays will be here before you know it. And you know what gifts I always forget until the last minute? My neighbor gifts and my little friend gifts. Then I'm scrambling for something cute at the last minute and I end up way overpaying. Can you relate? Well, I got you covered. Have you seen my new meaningful prayer journal? This simple, inexpensive, yet powerful gift helps you feel Christ's enabling power, see the hand of God daily, and gain knowledge and understanding through prayer. Also, if you know anyone in a Relief Society presidency, this would be a great Christmas gift for their sisters. I even offer a discount on bulk orders. Just click the link in my show notes and get yours pre-ordered today. All right, back to the episode. Think about all the modern day resources we have that speak about Heavenly Mother. If we aren't okay to talk about her, do you think all this information would be right there easy for us to see? Think about the hymn, "O my Father." The words say, "In the heavens our parents single, know the thought makes reason stare. Truth is reason, truth eternal, tells me I've a mother there." Then there's the family proclamation to the world. I think it's called The Family, a Proclamation to the World, that says, "All human beings, male and female, are created in the image of God. Each is a beloved spirit, son or daughter of heavenly parents, and as such, each has a divine nature and destiny. Gender is an essential characteristic of individual premortal, mortal, and eternal identity and purpose." Then there's the young women's theme. "I'm a beloved daughter of heavenly parents with a divine nature and eternal destiny." Sister Corden says this about the young women's theme. "Understanding these truths will change the way you face challenges. Knowing your identity and purpose will help you align your will with the Savior's." I love that knowing our identity in our Mother in Heaven can help us align our will with the Savior's. Man, knowing Heavenly Mother must be pretty important, right? Even the church's websites talk of her. The church's website talk of her. If you go in and type in Heavenly Mother in the search bar, an article comes up talking about her. And here's some of what it says. "The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints teaches that all human beings, male and female, are beloved spirit children of heavenly parents, a heavenly father, and a heavenly mother. While there is no record of a formal revelation to Joseph Smith on this doctrine, some early Latter-day Saint women recalled that he personally taught them about a mother in heaven. As with many other truths of the gospel, our present knowledge about a mother in heaven is limited." Nowhere in there does it say we can't talk about her, just that our knowledge is limited. And then there's this quote by Glenn L. Pace that just tops it all off for me. "Sisters, I testify that when you stand in front of our heavenly parents in those royal courts on high, and you look into her eyes and behold her countenance, any question you have ever had about the role of women in the kingdom will evaporate into rich celestial air. Because at that moment, you will see standing directly in front of you your divine nature and destiny." Wow, that really makes me want to know her now. If I will receive that much power in my life just by looking into her eyes, why not start now and learn of her now? Now, if you're wondering, how can I do that? How can I get to know her? That's actually something I cover in depth in my spiritual survival course that will be coming out in January. In fact, I talk about how to build a relationship with each member of the Godhead, as well as so you can receive all the power that they have to offer you, as well as how to hear him and receive daily revelation and have consistent daily spiritual habits. So if you want to jump on my waitlist, click the link in my show notes because I'll only be notifying people who are on the waitlist when it opens. And while you're there in my show notes, don't forget to get this week's handout as well. All right, I'll see you next week. I hope these minutes you spent with me were meaningful, helped you feel inspired, and more confident. Check out my show notes for links to my website, social media, and free handouts for remembering how to implement the skills. I know there are other women that could use this information. Leaving a review is a great way for other women to hear this message. If you'd like more daily inspiration and guidance, please come find me on Instagram at Nikki Olson Coaching. If you share this episode, please tag me. I love to connect with my listeners. Thank you for listening to the Meaningful Minutes podcast with Nikki Olson.